Hi everyone. So, as you might have caught on to over the last week or so, we've been working on a brand new business management tool, and it's your turn to get orientated and get onto the system. So, this is the orientation video. This will help you to understand what we're trying to achieve and the software that we're working with. And it's really split down into kind of three component areas. And basically each of these areas is going to take over from one of our current kind of functions, or even multiple functions we're trying to do at the moment in different software. As you'll all be aware, we have an awful lot of different systems. We're all communicating on things like Slack and Skype. We've got Google Drive, we've got the websites. We've got a wide range of different ways that we're either communicating, storing information, and so on. The problem is that isn't working for us. It's becoming a bit too difficult for Craig and I to manage who's doing what, keeping on top of the documents and so on, and trying to actually get some kind of standardization into our working day for everybody, really. And so we've been looking around for a few different options, and we finally found something that would allow us pretty closely to model the entire business into one system. So, welcome to Jira. Jira is a business methodology tool, really, is the way to kind of look at it. And it works on two bases, or two methodologies. One is Scrum, and the other one is Kanban. Now, Kanban, you will all be aware of. That's the one that we currently use in Meistertask. You have lots of columns. You move things between the columns to show where that particular task is within the workflow. Scrum takes a slightly different approach. It has more elements there that are great for developers, but it's something that we'll be looking to potentially use in all of the teams later on anyway. But for now, we'll be using Kanban. So here is the welcome screen, as it were, when you first log into Jira. This is your customer service board. Now at the moment I've just got it set up to pull data related to my account in, but what we'll do, we'll customize this so it just shows you things that are related directly to the customer service team. At the moment it will basically relate your personal data into here. But we'll get that set up for you once we know exactly what information you want. And so what we have on this page is the issue calendar, what has been assigned to a particular person, all of the projects that person is attached to. A project is basically a business area, so customer service team, design department, developers, myself, there's Craig. What is in progress, so what has been grabbed by an individual and is currently being worked in through the system. An activity stream showing you every action that is being done around the organisation on the content that you have a view or an ownership of. So kind of a key part of this here. We're able to really lock down content so that you're not able to get overloaded with information that's not related to your business area, etc. And then anything you happen to be watching in the system as well. Maybe you're not the owner of it, but you just need to keep one eye on what's happening with it. You'll be able to put a watch on and you'll get notifications and alerts and information appearing here as well. And you can also see these little markers show the current priority of that particular task as well. That's the dashboard, and that's rounding information up. But what about when we actually want to take a look at a project itself? So, as I say, each business area is considered a project as far as we're concerned. So current project, customer service, my task, design department, and so on. So we'll go into the customer service area and we'll have a quick look. Okay, so when we come into the customer service area, we have our backlog, what tasks have been assigned to customer service, what is currently in progress, and what is done. I'll show you how we create those items in a minute. And essentially these are our 4 steps, as it were, in the board. The backlog is where things will sit while we're waiting to work out who to assign it to. Once it's either assigned or it needs to be assigned, it'll be dropped into the assigned to CS queue. And it may be that if we're not sure who's going to be doing a particular job, it's just the next person who's free, we'll just drop it into here and we'll wait for someone to pick it up, basically. In progress means you're currently working on it, and done means it's done. Easy as that. So, if you need to create a task, and I would recommend that you get used to the idea of not just picking tasks up from the system, but also within your function. If there's a task that needs doing, drop it into the task, even if you're assigning it to yourself. So let's see what options we have here. Well, we've got story, A story is how we kind of hold a group of tasks in some respects. Now, it might be an individual task, but it might not be, because underneath a story we can also attach a subtask as well. So for instance, we might have a task that is related to creating a new brand on Facebook. So part of that task might be going and creating the actual Facebook page. Another one might be adding in the necessary descriptions and images. And another one might be then managing those initial comments that come back in. So what we could do is we can create a story, and we're going to call this first story Facebook page. And now I've created a task called Facebook page. Now if I want to, I can create another task underneath this. And I can call this Facebook page description. And now I've created that as well. What I want to do, I want to actually convert this to a subtask. So I'm going to say convert subtask. I'm going to select my parent issue, which is Facebook page, and next again. And what that's now done is it's made this a subtask of the top task, CS1 page Facebook, CS2. And we've got the subtask logged here. Really, really simple. And in this way we can group things together to make sure that we don't just have lots and lots of tasks with no relationship to each other, but tasks are essentially nested together. We can give something a top level kind of overview of the task, and then we can break tasks down within that and assign individual subtasks off to individual staff members if we need to. It gives us a lot of flexibility, and that's the kind of the key thing. So when you need to assign something, or if something is being assigned, you simply hit the assign button. And then you pick who it's going to be assigned to. In this case, we'll assign it to me. And we click assign. Now what will happen then is whoever is the assignee, unless you happen to have assigned it to yourself anyway, will get a notification saying a task has been assigned to them. Really, really quick and easy. Now one of the things that we'll also be doing on here is whoever creates these tasks for people can add a component. And this component is essentially a way of linking individual tasks or stories or things that we're doing within the system up to a kind of catch-all, I suppose you could say. So the idea is really that tasks, things that we're doing, are not meant to stay in the system forever. They're supposed to die once the job is done. When a job is done, it's done. We don't need to really see it necessarily in all our views, but we kind of need a way to find out all of the things that have been done against the thing that we've been doing. And so components are a way we can do that. So in this case, I would hold it against Facebook pages, because that's what this task is about. If in the future I ever need to see every task that has ever been done against Facebook pages, I can simply look up this component and pull everything back. Likewise, if I needed to, I could use labels. I could say it's actually not just a Facebook page, but in this case, it's niche guitars. So now I know it's a Facebook page and it's linked and related to niche guitars. You can build this information out when we're creating tasks so that we can find information easily, find out how things have been done, when it was done, and so on. It creates that level of accountability, but it also gives us that safety net to be able to say, actually, who did do that? We need to go and make a change. We need to find out exactly how that was implemented, because something may have gone wrong, or maybe something went really, really right, and we just want to find out how. So there we have more information. We have a description area here, which is fantastic. Allows us to drop in more information if we need to, but that's not generally how we're going to be using this. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to show you how you'll be receiving information related to tasks. Because obviously you've got these tasks, a task will be assigned to you, but there's not a huge amount of information here necessarily to be able to help you understand what job you need to do. What we have is Facebook page description. Okay, great. What? Now I could put this in this description area here, but it's a bit limited. It doesn't give me a lot of context. So I'm going to show you something. What I'm going to do now, we've got this task in here, Facebook page description. The next area of the system, we have Jira, which is our project management. We now have Confluence. Now, Confluence is our document management and knowledge base system. This will quite literally have every scrap of information we have ever created anywhere in the business will now be going into here. Now, it has a couple of different areas. You will find that you'll only be able to access areas related to your business project. So your business area, customer service, and the knowledge base. Those are the two key areas you will have access to. The knowledge base is company-wide and provides access to everything in the business. Need to know how our blueprints work for Facebook? It's all there. Need to know how to create automation? need training videos for how Jira works and how to do your function, it will all be in here as well. Basically everything we've created, any video you've probably ever been sent will eventually find its way into here. If you ever find something is missing, please let myself or Craig know and we'll add it nice and easily for you. So let's have a look in customer service. So we've got a few bits and pieces here already. So actually what I'm going to do, we've got this social media accounts for niche, and this has the username and passwords for those social media accounts we've been creating. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to link this document directly up to a task we just created. And I'm going to do that directly from this document. I don't need to flick back to Jira to do it. I can do it directly from in here. And I do it using a little gadget, Jira Issue Filter. Now, you can see in here, I can search for an issue anywhere in the system using what's known as JQL, which is Jira Query Language. I can create a brand new issue in any board directly from this document. So if I wanted to, I can come and tag it directly to customer service as a brand new story, so a brand new top level task. Or I can tag any recently viewed. Aha, here's our Facebook page description subtask. Let's have that. Now, you can see there it's popped in a little chiclet marker. Brilliant. Hit update. And now it's pulled that task directly into this document. It's told us where it is in the current queue, and it's told us what the title and the subject of that task is. And more importantly, it's provided us a quick link directly to that task in Jira. And now can you see here, issues linked, mentioned in social media accounts for niche. Click that, I'm straight back to my document again. It doesn't matter which way you need to gain information about the task you need to perform. You can either get it from the document, or you can get it from the task. And you always have a two-way link between the two views. I can see my task, I can see my document. I can see anything related to this particular job I need to do. So if there happens to be a tutorial for a particular task, a brand new task you've never done before, you can quickly come to here, you'll be able to get everything you need to start working on that task, to learn how to do it. Likewise, if there happens to be a special checklist required for a task, that will be available here. So you can just quickly click and go straight to a running list of the things that might need to be done within this overall task. You know, maybe it's a checklist, maybe it's just a couple of warnings or gotchas you need to be aware of. Don't do this in this particular scenario. Well, all of that information will be there for you. You won't have to second guess. You won't have to go back to a really long, dense document to try and find that information. It will all be delivered for you alongside the task that needs to be completed. In most cases, obviously, there may be scenarios where we're in a rush and we just need to get something done, and there might not be that document there. You'll be relying on your own wits and self-starting nature to figure out what to do on that. But that should be fairly rare, hopefully, anyway. So that provides you the link between the document system and the tasks. But what about when we're wanting to move things on? Well, you can actually come into the record itself, and as you can see here, it says who it's been assigned to, who the reporter is, so who originally created it, who the watchers are. As I say, you don't need to be the owner of a task or the assignee of a task or the creator of a task to watch a task if you need to. So up here we have a few options. Edit will allow us to edit this original task, and that provides all of the information related to editing those tasks. You can leave a comment, which is the comment system down here. If you do need to leave a comment, maybe you need to leave a piece of information for somebody who's watching, for the original assignee, for a reporter, or for the original product owner, then you can leave a comment. And perhaps that's just to say, I'm now done with this task, or perhaps I need more information about this. What will happen? Anybody who's watching, anyone who's assigned or reported, will get an alert saying a comment has been left. Please go and have a quick look. Our work log will provide a work log, literally of every action that is taken against this. So as it's moved between backlog or selected for, well, that's actually going to say selected for customer service or assigned to customer service. I should actually already say that. I'll need to go and fix that. Or any other major activity that occurs on here, logging hours worked against a task, will all appear in the work log. The history will show you what has been changed, and this really is a proper change log. It's not the work log. Work log is related to actions done against this, moving things on within our product workflows. The history provides information about what has been changed. So if I come in and I change, for instance, the priority, that will appear within the history when it updates itself. Made changes now, priority medium to priority high. So you can see there. Activity will show you what or who has touched this around the system. Created link from CS Facebook page description to page Confluence. So again, it's not just a history of the individual changes of the task, but the changes in activity that has occurred across the system related to this task, be it a document or be it the actual task itself. It allows us an incredible level of accountability that we can now work out, well, what has changed, when it changed, why it changed, and how that then relates through these tasks through the system. Knock-on effects and technical debt can be eliminated more easily this way. And then that really is the complete record. You can click assign at the top to assign it to a person. You can move it between a stage by simply clicking the button and it will then move it forward. Or you can jump directly in the workflow to a particular system if you need to, moving it to done and so on. And can you see these statuses are changing up at the top as we go. That is a basic overview of the kind of two areas of the system that we'll be using day in, day out. However, there's another area we'll also be using continuously as well. And this is our replacement for Skype and for Slack. Okay, so this is HipChat. HipChat is our combined chat system directly linked into Jira and Confluence. Now this will take over from Slack and Skype in its whole. Essentially we'll be doing away with Skype, we'll be doing away with Slack, we'll all be using HipChat. HipChat has a number of ways you can use it. You've got a web client, it also has a mobile client for Android and iOS, and it also has a desktop client for Windows and Mac as well. So we can use it just like we would Skype, just like we would Slack. Now every department will have its own chat room. That's where you individually will be, and anything that occurs within Confluence, the document management system, or within the task system will also be related directly into your room. So you will see as tasks change, as they're updated, as they're assigned, they will be pushed into here. You will get notifications through your emails, you'll get notifications through HipChat, you'll get notifications if you have the Jira windows open as well. And you can use these to jump directly to a task just like you would with Confluence. We also have a number of extra things that we can plug in. They're known as bots. Now one of those bots I've got set up in my own personal area just for testing. But for instance, it allows me to see all of the comments as they happen in real time directly from our Facebook pages. What I'll do is I'll have that tagged so it comes into your customer service area as well. It'll save you a little bit of extra work if we have that going directly in. Now another thing you can just see that I was just testing there is we have a way that we can call a Zendesk ticket directly into the chat system. So if, for instance, you've got a particular problem with a customer service ticket, you don't need to waste time saying, oh, okay, I need to get a link to this Zendesk ticket. All you have to literally do is type in something along the lines of #Zendesk. I'll get the exact coding for this, hash, and then the number of the ticket. And what will happen then is the gadget will go to Zendesk and it will grab that ticket and it will drop it straight in. And you've then got the ticket information available to you and who it was assigned to. You can then fire the assignee straight to Zendesk and log in. Nice and easy. So it gives us a way of being able to relate information from external services into our chat area a little bit easier. Not just links, but you can actually pull the current status in and what's going on with it. Unfortunately, at the moment, there is no way to do this in real time so that every ticket that comes in gets pushed directly into our HipChat. Unfortunately, for that functionality, Zendesk want us to pay twice the price. Not something we're going to do. Now, that is the three component areas currently of our new business management system. We do long term have another tool we can plug in which is known as Service Desk. Essentially it's a version of Zendesk done by the same company. That's something we'll look at later on in the year once we are really, I suppose, we've paid for Zendesk up until around December. So if we're going to do this, it's something that we would look to move to back end of December for really starting in 2018. But I will let you know more on that in the future. What I would suggest for now, have a play with the system, get used to some of the screens that you're going to be seeing, and there will be more fully featured instructional videos coming later this week. But for now, this is an orientation. Get used to some of these features, the links and so on that I've shown you. Have a little bit of a play, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks very much, guys.